All right, so if you've ever been deep in one of those late night YouTube rabbit holes, you've probably definitely crashed into the world of hard tunes. It's this brilliantly chaotic, somehow super familiar universe, right? Where just regular life gets styled up to like an 11 on the absurdity scale. And honestly, this one line, it's the perfect way to get what this show is all about. The joke isn't just the line itself, it's the seriousness behind it. He's saying with a straight face that a real man's identity is tied to his shorts. And not just any torn shorts, but ones with a very specific triangular tear. It's so absurd, so specific, and boom, you instantly get the vibe. So, you gotta ask, what is the secret sauce here? I mean, how do they take something as mundane as a broken mixer or, super awkward high school crushes and spin it into pure comedy gold that racks up millions of views? What's the actual formula behind all this relatable chaos? Well, if you want to crack the hard tunes code, you have to start with the main event, the central pillar holding the whole thing up, the Indian middle-class dad. This guy is like a perfect storm of ego, a super short temper, and this unshakable, almost religious belief that he can fix anything, especially if it means he gets to use his sacred collection of tools. The whole thing is about his mindset, right? The mixer breaks down, and what's the first thought? It's not, hey, maybe we should call a repairman. No way. It's, where are my tools? See, for him, calling a pro is like admitting defeat. It's a sign of weakness. And even worse, it's throwing away good money on some useless guy who's just going to charge $500 to breathe on it. And this line just nails his whole obsession. Notice he doesn't just say, has anyone seen my screwdriver? No, it's this frantic, almost theatrical accusation. My four-headed screwdriver has been eaten. Instantly, it's everyone else's fault. His wife, the kids, probably the dog, the entire universe, anyone but him. The tool isn't just lost, it's been swallowed whole by the sheer incompetence surrounding him. This whole attitude is basically powered by a concept called jugaad. It's this uniquely Indian idea of makeshift, resourceful problem solving. Think of it as the spirit that says, an electrician? Nah, I've got a kitchen knife and a whole lot of confidence, maybe too much confidence. That's basically the core programming for the Hard to Tune's dad. So you start to see he lives by this unofficial rule book, right? Rule 1, nothing ever gets thrown out, ever. Rule 2, those torn shorts, they're basically a medal of honor. Rule 3, his anger can just appear out of nowhere, like a ninja. A new appliance isn't something to be happy about, it's a suspicious device that needs a full-body inspection. And the golden rule, of course, why would you ever pay someone to fix something when you can have all the fun of breaking it even more, all by yourself? But, okay, the chaos doesn't just stop with the parents. Oh, no. The kids' lives are just as much of a beautiful mess, it's just their battlefield is totally different. We're talking about the digital maze of trying to date as a Gen Z kid. I mean, for the sons and their crew, the mission seems simple enough, right? Find a girlfriend. But getting there, oh man, it's a complete minefield. You've got all these unwritten rules of social media, a crippling amount of awkwardness, and of course the great unsolvable mystery of the universe. What are girls actually thinking? Just look at their epic quest to find their crush, this girl Rinky. So they find her on Instagram. Finally, but her profile pic, it's just her phone covering her face. Okay, so her bio has a link to another private account. You follow that, and maybe you get a glimpse of her forehead? That account leads to another one, and after going down this rabbit hole of 50 private accounts, you finally get the big reveal. A picture of her whole face wearing a mask. It's just so hilariously frustrating, and it's the perfect commentary on online identity. And then you get the moment it all boils over. They see the nerdiest kid in school, the Chomo Londa, and he has a girlfriend. Now, is their reaction to maybe look inward, to ask what they could be doing differently? Of course not. It's just pure, unfiltered disbelief. The only possible explanation is that the entire concept of good taste among girls has just completely collapsed. It's such a classic defense mechanism, and it is absolutely comedy gold. So, where does all this romantic failure lead? Well, the friend group itself basically becomes the relationship, right? They just end up hyping each other up, complaining about everything together, and sharing the absolute worst advice you've ever heard. Because, let's be real, actual dating is just way too complicated. All right, so you've got dad's world of DIY chaos, and you've got the kid's world of digital confusion. They seem pretty different, but there's a specific comedic DNA that links them all together. Let's actually break down the Hard Tunes formula. And this is where you can really see how it works. Step 1. Start with something completely normal, something we've all seen. A guy peeing behind a tree, calling the fire department for an emergency, a kid at the doctor's for a vaccination. Super relatable. Step 2. Take that normal thing and just rocket it into the most absurd, illogical place imaginable. The cops don't write a ticket. They threaten a full-on encounter. The firefighter refuses to do anything until he gets a 100 rupee digital payment. The doctor gives you his WhatsApp number so you can send him the death certificate if the kid cries too much. It's genius. But here's the real secret ingredient. The joke isn't just the crazy situation. The real comedy is how everyone reacts, or rather how they don't react. They treat the absurd as totally normal. The firefighter isn't trying to be funny. In his mind, demanding a digital payment first is just standard operating procedure. All the characters are living in this universe where a total collapse of logic is just, a regular Tuesday. And that's why it's so funny. So you have to wonder, why does this weird formula work so well? Why can't we stop watching? I think it's because when you put all these pieces together, it's actually reflecting something much, much bigger about the world we live in. What's really going on is that under all that wild humor, Hartoons is holding up a giant satirical mirror to society. It takes all those little everyday frustrations, all the anxieties of modern Indian life, and just blows them up just enough for us to step back and see how truly ridiculous it all can be. And look at everything reflected in that mirror. You see the huge generation gap, the dad with his knife as a screwdriver versus the son living on social media. You see the nightmare bureaucracy, like needing 1 million photocopies for a simple scholarship. You see the weird new rules of dating on Instagram. It's all of it. Our everyday struggles with money, with tech, with family. It's all right there. And I think that's why millions of people connect with it. At the end of the day, watching Hard Tunes makes you feel seen. It validates your own frustrations. When you see the dad losing his mind over a screwdriver or the kids getting lost in that Instagram labyrinth, yeah, you're laughing. But a part of you is also going, oh man, I totally get that feeling. It takes all our individual